Hi Taurus, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your October 2021 reading. Thank to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's what I call the Bridging the Gap Spirit. And the way it works is a look at the past energies, present energies, and future energies between you and your main love interest. Once we get through all those, we'll actually pull some oracle cards for some additional insight. That's where the Bridging the Gap dynamic comes into play. As far as the decks being used, on the left side we have the Lover's Path Tarot. On the right side we have the Tarot of Sexual Magic. And also keep in mind it's a general reading, so I'm going to be referring to the cards on the left as your energy and the cards on the right as the other person's. If you feel like it's the other way around in your situation, then definitely trust that. Alright, so with all that out of the way, we'll get started. Past energy on your side. We have a few cards. We have Balance, which is the equivalent of the Temperance, which is Sagittarius energy. King of Cups, Scorpio energy. And Three of Arrows, Libra energy. So the primary way that I see this playing out could just be saying that you had a heavy sexual attraction toward this person. So it might have just been that instant chemistry on a physical level. But then at the same time, it looks like there might have been a bit of a disconnect when it came to actually making it a stable commitment. And for some of you, could have just been that perhaps you weren't necessarily done healing from a previous situation, so you weren't ready for something more serious. Or for some of you, could also be saying that, maybe because you couldn't turn it into something more serious, there was some disappointment there. But to be honest with you, I feel like primarily it was that you guys weren't necessarily open to something more serious in the past. Alright, past energy on their side, we have the Six of Wands. So this is Leo energy here. And it definitely usually represents an energy of victory. So it definitely looks like they were highly attracted to you as well in the past. And you could kind of see that within the artwork as well. Maybe for some of you, this connection might have started around Leo season too. Alright. Present energy on your side, we have Wisdom. So this is the equivalent to the High Priestess. And to me, I feel like this is saying that there might not be direct communication between the two of you at this time. And the reason I say that, we just look at the artwork there. They're in the room together, but she has her back turned to him. She's looking at a book. We see, to me, that sword representing communication. So it could just be saying that they're open to communicating, but for whatever reason you don't feel open to directly communicating with them. You might just be trying to rely on your intuition at this time to figure out how they're feeling. And the one thing I would say to be mindful of with trying to do that this month is the fact that we do have Mercury retrograde that just started. So there could definitely be some confusion in that area too. So be on the lookout for that. All right. Present energy on their side, we have the Ace of Chalices. So it looks like they are it looks like their emotions are growing toward the situation. Because like I said in the past, it looks like it was primarily a physical thing between the two of you. Now seeing the Ace of Chalices here, I feel like that's saying that the emotional side of things is starting to kick in for this person. Whether or not they'll express that to you directly, that's up in the air, because usually what I say with the aces is they represent more of having the idea of something as opposed to taking action toward it. But yeah, looks like their emotions are starting to grow for you. Alright, and future energy on your side, we have Love, which is the equivalent to the Lovers, Gemini energy, and Prince of Staves, which is the equivalent of Knight of Wands energy, which is Sagittarius energy. So this could just be saying that you guys might actually unite on a more physical level and possibly moving toward a more of a commitment thing as opposed to just strictly physical as we get into Sagittarius season. So that would be November into December, and then more specifically, maybe around the time that Gemini full moon too, since we see the Gemini and Sagittarius energies together. So that's what I'm seeing with that. And for others of you, it could just still represent a reluctance on your part. So, maybe this is you saying one of two ways that you're going to turn away from the physical intimacy side of it until you see some proof that this could turn into something more stable. Or for others of you, could just be saying that, Well, yeah, I feel like that's pretty much the main thing that I'm picking up on with that. I was going to say another thing, but it basically would have been the other message just said the other way around. So, yeah, that's what I see there. And then future energy on their side, we have King of Wands, so Leo energy again, and Eight of Swords, Gemini energy. So with the King of Wands, I feel like this is representing more growth there, right? So going from the Six of Wands to the King of Wands, and then we mentioned the Ace of Chalices as well. So to me, this looks like there's that gradual growth of the feelings. So now, to me, the King of Wands almost represents that combination of, that strictly passion, but also with some emotion involved as well. And with the Eight of Swords there, it could just be saying that they might have something from their past that they're still struggling to get over as well. So that's the interesting angle there. And maybe it's just a fear of intimacy in general, as far as, okay, now that they feel it's getting more real, they might freeze up a little bit with that Eight of Swords energy. So let me see what else comes to mind with this. But yeah, it does look like there will be forward movement. Quite frankly, it looks like the physical attraction between the two of you is really high, but getting it past that seems to be a bit of a hiccup for both of you. But looks like it will be moving in that direction. All right, bottom of the deck on your side, we have Grace. So this is the equivalent of the star card in traditional tarot, which is the major arcana card for Aquarius. And then if we just look at the artwork too, for those of you, for example, we do see that Three of Swords in the past position. For those of you who might have been going through a tough time, it looks like you will be coming out of that as well. Maybe if there was some career issues, possibly. Looks like you can actually be reconnecting with your more emotional side when it comes to love this month. Possibly through communication too, if we think of those birds representing potential communication. So maybe you hear from this person, for example, if there was some kind of disconnect between the two of you. Or again, like I said, it looks like you might be the ones who aren't communicating at this time, but maybe you get some kind of message from them on a more emotional level that lets you know that it wasn't just one thing that they were looking for in a connection. All right, and the bottom of the deck on their side, we have the Two of Wands. So this is Aries energy here. Represents the energy of a fresh start. See what else comes to mind with this. And again, this could be pointing to something around the time of that Aries full moon that we're going to have in October too, toward the end of Libra season. So be on the lookout for that. All right, so next we'll move on to your Oracle card, see if we get any additional messages there. So first we'll see if we get anything from Aqua Moonlight deck. I did pre-shuffle this deck before we started recording, and I'm just going to be looking for some jumpers here, unspoken messages from you to them and from them to you. And typically I would only take jumpers for these readings, but this month I've actually been pulling cards as well if no jumpers come up, so we'll see what we get. Like I said, first we're looking for unspoken messages from you to them. All right, that one there that won't go back in the deck, and let's see what we get from them to you. Almost had one there. Alright, so what I'll do is I'll just put the deck down and we'll pull a card. So give me a few seconds to tune in and we'll pull one. Okay. So let me move these out of the way, and we'll start with the one on your side first. Okay, we have Rendezvous. It says, I want to see you. So for some of you, there might just be a physical distance between the two of you more than anything. And I didn't even think of that before with the Sagittarius energy, but maybe that's what it was, right? Maybe you guys met in some kind of travel somewhere and realized that the physical distance might have been what would prevent you guys from actually having a more stable commitment. So that's certainly a possibility there. But either way, it looks like you do have some desire to reconnect with them. And on their side, we have codependency. I need you. So interesting there. I mean, it looks like passionate energy on their side for sure, but I didn't necessarily see it, excuse me, coming across as like a codependent type energy. Well, to be fair, maybe that's what that Eight of Swords is pointing to as well, where, like I was saying, looks like they might have something from their past that they need to put behind them as well. And that could be what it is, right? Where maybe they get into that habit of codependency. But hopefully those resonate with you. And lastly, we'll pull a card from the Wisdom Oracle deck. And I did pre-shuffle this deck as well, but here we're just looking for one card with general advice to wrap up with. All right, so I'll put the deck down here and give me a few seconds to tune in, and we'll pull one from here too. Okay. We have Y. There's the artwork, and the number is 31. So interesting to see that you guys have that Aquarius card at the bottom of the deck on your side, because I'm pretty sure Aquarius also got this card this month. So if you guys are dealing with an Aquarius, or if you have a prominent Aquarius placement in your chart, you might want to check that reading out too. But we'll go through what it says in the book. Okay, it says motives driving intention, the power of knowing the why. The Oracle's message: there is great power in understanding your motives right now. The Oracle asks you to be very clear about why you're asking this question, looking for this answer, behaving in this way, and most important, making this choice. Knowing your why is the key to fulfillment. When you are clear about it, your intention will then be a magnet for miracles. Motives define the nature of your experience. When you think about something, feel it, and then act on it. This invisible why is the life force energy within the seed, which brings it to life and holds the potential for growth. So, interesting message there, especially for those of you where if there was some kind of disconnect with that Three of Swords in the past, where like I said, maybe you guys were healing from something, and then where we see now it looks like you're not communicating with them at this time, and then in the future there might be the potential for love, but you might still be reluctant to come toward it. So hopefully that resonates with you. The relationship message says we don't always know why we engage in our relationships in the way we do, mostly because our feelings aren't always logical. Now is the time to recognize whether you're being triggered by someone else or if your behavior is motivated by unresolved issues in the past. When you ask yourself, why am I feeling like this, and why did I say that, and spend some time in introspection, the answers may be surprising. Listen to the messages from your intuition, from the knowing deep within you. What does it tell you about yourself and others? In the end, life is all about being loved. Miracles and a deep understanding of your needs and how to get them met are the buried treasure of the why. Uncover them by posing the most powerful question you can ask yourself and your partner today. Why? So interesting message there, especially when I was talking about tapping into your intuition, because that makes me think of the wisdom energy. And for somebody that could just be saying that whatever that Three of Arrows energy you guys were going through in the past with the wisdom showing up here, that could actually represent you might already be doing that looking into your past and figuring out why have you been reacting certain ways. And then with the love card in the future, it could just be saying that as we get closer to Sagittarius season, you guys might actually be a lot more open at that time. So, hope that resonated with you guys. I'll wrap up there, and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.